Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty damn good.
I think it's going pretty good because I think we tricked Rhea to get all her fucking barks out during our little stupid warm-up shit. So that's awesome. So we could just dive right into it.
We can.
Yeah, so you are listening to I Don't Want to Watch That, a show born in quarantine, and just basically we get drunk and watch Housewives, essentially is what it is at this point.
Yeah,
and,
that was our day today.
Yeah. And so we are talking about Real Housewives of New York. Before we even get into that, just going to show how, much we've been drinking vodka sodas all day. It's you can find us. Our website is don'twantawatchthat.com. Twitter and Instagram, the handles are at don'twantawatch. We post a little bullshit, silly stuff on our Instagram.
And do you mean by award-winning memes?
Yes, award-winning memes. Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, if the award is having several of the housewives actually share our stuff, reshare our stuff, then yes, then award-winning. But we've never technically won a meme contest.
I've won a meme contest in my mind. How about that?
The vodka sodas have been hitting Mare a little harder. But yeah, I don't want to watch that is the show. You can find it anywhere podcasts are fucking found. If you hear about us and you listen to a podcast app that you can't find us on, let us know. And and then we'll get it there. And you can let us know by going to don'twantawatchthat.com. There's
What's the website, Mike?
Don'twantawatchthat.com. Anyway, so you have happened onto a season 4, episode 7 and 8, Real Housewives of New York, going old school. And I didn't know it because, obviously I'm new at this, and my wife has seen them all, though. This is the Morocco trip.
Ooh,
and from what I understand, it is some shit.
Yeah, it's a fun trip.
Yeah.
It's not one of the best. It's not one of the worst.
I mean, it's shaping up pretty good. But
it is a good trip.
I mean, to be honest, though, now that you mentioned trips, just thinking about it, I feel like Scary Island is almost knocked down a peg because of how much I like Kelly now. At the time, it was the destruction of somebody and the complete exposure.
I like Kelly now, huh?
Because at the time, it was the destruction and the complete exposure of somebody who I wasn't a fan of at all, and I thought it was completely...
Right, because she beefed with Bethany.
Well, she beefed with Bethany, and at the time, she was completely ridiculous and thought she was above everybody's shit. And I don't know what it was about Bethany, but she brought out the worst in Kelly. Now that Bethany's gone, I think Kelly is just a happy-go-lucky, happy idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's still not she's still sitting there eating gummy bears while saying stupid shit like, I don't eat processed foods.
Jelly bellies, not gummy bears.
Oh, that's right. They were jelly.
Big difference.
My bad. You're absolutely right.
Listen, if you keep watching this game
and
disengaging,
though, right?
You are talking, but your eyes keep... Guys, he's got the game on right now, and it doesn't have the sound on, and he keeps disengaging and looking at the game
of all,
diverting his attention.
Just because my eyes are on it doesn't mean my mind and heart are not with the fucking ladies of New York, okay?
All right, I hope so. Let's see how this episode goes.
Just for the record, it's the fantasy football playoffs. It's Saturday afternoon, and Josh Allen is playing right now, and I have him in 2 of my fucking leagues, and he's already killing it. 3 touchdowns in the first fucking half.
Oh, the game is 21-7.
Yes, exactly. Huge. And I need more points to beat these people to win money. That's what it's about. Anyway, and nobody would have even known it if you didn't say nothing.
I know, but I know it, and therefore everybody else should know it.
Okay, my bad. You're right. So anyway, this shit starts off with Luann and Sonia at lunch. And this is, now that I've seen where these episodes go, it seems like this is almost like 2 department heads meeting to join their teams together.
Yeah.
Because now with it's almost like blonde versus brunette or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But since they kind of form their own factions, this definitely has more of a mafia meeting, the meeting of the families and shit like that. This is how we're gonna distribute the territory. We're gonna go to Morocco. Me and my blonde friends, we're going to go to this other hotel. You guys go shopping. We'll meet up for dinner. It'll be embarrassing for everybody, okay? Okay. But yeah, so they decide, Luann is pushing to go to Morocco. Sonia's not into it, but basically she's like, yo, if the Countess is down, I'll fucks with it.
Yeah, I'll fucks with it. I'll go.
Luann's word is strong.
Luann's
even
more,
though they don't respect her, like
they see. Here's the thing.
in the moments,
Like I think that they do respect her. I think they fear her a little bit. If you recall, remember when I'm sorry. Remember when Sonia was making that dinner at the toaster oven?
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, the Countess is here, yo.
Countess is here.
Oh, absolutely.
She's watching everything that I'm doing. So I think they think that she's ridiculous, but they also respect her.
At the same time, though...
Is it respect or fear?
I think... I don't really even think it's either, to be honest. Because I don't think they respect her because look at how they have behaved on this Morocco trip so far. You know what I mean?
I mean, we'll get to that. It's
just,
still pretty early, and
they just don't want her to talk shit. I think is really what it is.
Okay.
Because she's very, very good at talking shit, as we are coming to see.
She is really good.
She's
and
talking about
really good.
Engaged,
she's really good this season.
People talk about being engaged, like you're doing your nails while we're doing this. So,
I know.
So just because your eyes are somewhere else doesn't mean
no,
your head's not
I'm
with us.
listening though. This is
This is
my list. Well, it's not, but.
Oh my god! All right. I feel like I don't know. They're gonna play some of these tapes at our divorce hearings one day.
We're never getting
kidding,
divorced.
I'm kidding.
Divorce.
So, all right. So now Luann and Sonia, they both start working the phones. Luann's like, "Yo, fucking Jill, you want to go to Morocco?"
Jill's all about it.
Jill's like, "All right, but I don't know if I can fucking take Ramona for that long."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, don't worry. I thought we'll get her to come apologize." And guess what? Spoiler alert: she never does. And
then we get to Sonia inviting Ramona, and how does that go, Mike?
Hold on. You be Sonia, I'll be Ramona. Go.
Sonia, so Luann and I, we want to plan a trip. We want to go to Morocco.
No. Yeah, she just says no right off the bat, but then immediately
she's like, I'm
guess I'll go.
concerned because it is a third world country. They do not treat their women well, and Morocco. I'm no world traveler.
No.
But from what I know, Morocco is like an absolutely beautiful place to go.
And
it's pretty chic.
Yeah.
It's fucking Morocco.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got like it sounds good on paper, but just like anywhere else you go, like you could go like to fucking Cleveland and you can find 5-star restaurants or get mugged in an alley. Like this will happen to you.
Cleveland?
I'm just saying you can go anywhere in the world and find good places, high class, high end places. Like, cause Cleveland's kind of like a third world country, like just in general. Like any place.
I've never been to Cleveland, so I can't comment.
But just like the point being, like you can go anywhere and find, and if you stay in the good places, everything will be fucking cool. And if you venture off into some
I don't know,
shittier
everything
areas,
that I've heard about,
you might not have a great time.
I mean, everything that I've heard about, I know reputable people that have gone to Morocco. What up, Patricia Del Pilar from high school?
All right.
She went there, and she said it's probably one of the most beautiful places you will ever be to in your life. Like, it's fucking Morocco.
No, of course. I'm just saying every place has shitty and every place has good. So I would imagine if Luann is advocating for it, knowing Luann and her fucking
like knowing
class,
Luann,
I would put
fucking
my trust in her.
countess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would,
Ramona though, it's a third world country.
Yeah, Ramona don't
I
care.
don't trust it.
Alex is in right away, and then Kelly is just like, I'm not going anywhere, Ramona.
Wherever.
Not after last
Kelly
time.
has to think about it. Yeah.
Not after last time. You're not fooling me again. And then so we got.
So Luann really wants the trip to work, and I feel, and she really wants to make sure that like Ramona's with it. She's gonna be on her best behavior, so she takes her to lunch, and Luann immediately goes in on Ramona.
Yes, and it's excellent because
it's great. She dropped. I always forget how shady Luann is, but she is the queen of just bluntness and shade. She likes to wrap her shade in a pretty fucking bow.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
It comes in a fucking like Louis Vuitton bag.
Yes, it comes in a Louis Vuitton
and you
bag.
open it up and it's like a fucking a dream.
But the
box
girls
of shit.
are the girls know. They're like
I wrote this down later, but I think now's a fine enough time to bring it up. I feel like Luann senses weakness in Ramona.
Yes.
And that she can be the top dog on this show. Because Ramona is, I think, the top dog right now because she's like an OG. And even Sonya was going around telling people they gotta kiss her fucking ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Luann senses weakness in Ramona and cracks in her foundation, which we will find out later that shit is fucking true as fuck. And I think she's trying to put her down to elevate herself.
Wow. That's very intuitive, Mike.
I'm just saying. That's what I'm sensing here. I do have an associate's degree in psychology from an online college.
Let's talk about the lunch real quick and what Luann says. She immediately... Yeah, she immediately is like, I really want everybody to get along. I want this trip to go well.
Yeah, the way she opened it was even crazy.
She was like, your party that you threw was beautiful, but too bad you had to cheapen it by starting a fight with Jill.
I wrote down that quote as well.
Too bad. Too bad.
But then they start talking about it, and they're gonna move on, and they discuss it.
Though Ramona's pretty tight though about Luann always takes sides, and it's always for Jill and not Ramona. She feels like she's not a good friend in that way. And honestly, who wouldn't take Jill's side?
I think Luann's just calling it like she sees it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jill. Jill and Ramona can do no wrong in my eyes. As Ramona is awful. She's very familiar. There's something about her that I just understand and get in some weird way. And
Ramona,
Jill,
because she's like Rob.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. And Jill, to me, is just... Jill's just wonderful. I love Jill.
Yeah, Jill's fantastic.
Jill's good. Well. She's got a big, good heart. And as we soon learn, she's just got a big fucking mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of this, Ramona promises to talk to Jill and try and smooth things over so the trip goes well. And what's the odds that happens?
Pretty low.
Yeah. So all of a sudden we shift gears to Sonya taking a whole bunch of sultry photos for her fucking her toaster oven cookbook.
God bless.
She's wearing gowns that you would, when she was probably cooking out of her toaster for the premiere of Saint Tropez and his wife or whatever. She was probably wearing those things.
Wait. Back up to what you just said. Her premiere of Saint Tropez.
Because remember we put the thing on. On her Instagram about her cooking out of her toaster for the fucking...
For Winston Churchill. Come on.
I don't think she said Winston Churchill.
Yes, not Winston, but for the Churchills.
No, the Churchill, of Saint Tropez.
She no, she didn't say of Saint Tropez.
She
said, I have cooked meals in the toaster oven for the Churchills in Saint Tropez, not of.
It was of Saint Tropez.
No, it wasn't, Mike.
Okay. All right.
I'm so with this. I don't even want to talk to you about it.
I'm not even gonna. That's fine. You're good. I'm down. You win.
Are you?
Yes. And then while this is going on, all of a sudden her vagina falls out and Kelly is disgusted.
Kelly has not seen. Yes. Another woman's vagina.
That was the first time she's ever seen another woman's vagina.
Which, to be honest, if you're going to see another woman's vagina, if it's going to be your first one, Sonya would be, the one you would want to see.
I can't believe that was the first time, though. Even the ladies, when she told them that, they were like, what? You're a model. You're getting changed in seconds backstage.
I know.
How have you never seen a vagina before? And then she was just, not spread like that, though. So Cindy's got this trip planned that we heard nothing about, and all of a sudden...
Yeah, to Canyon Ranch or something, or
and all of a sudden,
Valley or whatever.
The brunette crew is fucking on their way to a ranch, and the blondes are left out, and Cindy's just like, I don't like them, so I didn't invite them. That's blunt, and to be honest, I appreciate it.
I like Cindy a lot.
I like Cindy too.
I really do, and I feel like she didn't really get a good rep her first season, because she's kind of neurotic. But I feel like I like her a lot. I wish she had another season, but she doesn't.
She didn't kiss the ring.
It's her only. You're right. It's her only season.
That's what it is. She didn't kiss the ring. Ramona was like, either she's out or I'm out.
She probably didn't. Ramona probably didn't even say that. Ramona was probably like, she's out.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So
well, Luann also, before we move on anymore, Luann thinks that Sonia is hanging out with Ramona too much and kind of a fucking lame
so she was a very bad influence.
Mad. Luann is giving mad shade this season.
She shits on Ramona
a lot.
Yeah, like
a lot, a lot.
And it's kind of shocking too, because I know that they're very good friends now, especially.
Yeah.
Because they're like the Oest of G's in that show.
Yeah. I mean, Ramona and Luann have a very complicated relationship, which you will see as it goes on. Like, Luann is always talking shade about Ramona and just like how awful she is, but they still are like really good friends.
Yeah, because deep down, Luann is that awful. She just doesn't express it as well.
Okay. All right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
And they're both single and fucking thirsty, right? Nowadays.
Who? Luann and
Ramona? Yeah.
Luann, yes.
Yeah, so they're both fucking each other's wingman, even though they both hate each other. It's, it's classic. You're just stuck with who you're stuck with at that point.
All right.
But yeah, so they're in this SUV shooting up to the ranch, and Kelly's too embarrassed to say the word vagina when she's trying to convey that she saw Sonia's vagina.
Yes.
She's like, oh, I saw her. And then Cindy's just like, just say vagina, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah. I love Cindy for her, what's the word? Bluntness?
Candor? Yeah.
Candor? Bluntness?
But then we did have a serious moment here. Kelly's opening up and talking about how shitty dating is, and, it's almost impossible. She wants to have another kid, and, like, it's pretty deep. And then all of a sudden she talks about, like, some abuse and stuff. And
yes, she did experience some abuse from the dude that, well, she got arrested, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing, like, she's the one who got arrested, so I don't know. Usually the other person, the male person in that equation gets arrested like 99% of the time, so she's the one who got arrested. It must have been a pretty clear case against her.
Must have been. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's all speculation.
Absolutely.
But we do know that Luann consoles her. Luann, in her very ice cold heart,
yes,
feels some sympathy for Kelly and gives her a big hug.
Yeah, it was very nice.
And let me just say, Kelly's outfit, that pleated skirt, that plaid pleated skirt, was like my signature outfit in my 20s, and I appreciated it.
Very nice. So they arrive at the place.
You wouldn't know because you weren't around.
Yeah, I was in the Navy. I was wearing pleated fucking bell bottoms and, a stupid sailor hat and my little cute neckerchief thing. That's what I was wearing. I had pleats of a different color.
I was so hot in my 20s.
Yeah, so was I. And then here we are now.
Here we are married. And a little bit chubby.
Yeah, and then so they get to the place and there's gifts waiting for them, and Jill, in a classless manner, just opens them in the lobby as if nobody else exists.
Yo, I have never related more in my life to somebody than to Jill opening up that gift in the lobby. Come on. You're on a girls' trip. Your rich friend is giving you a beautiful gift.
Yeah, but
of course I'm fucking opening it up in the middle of the...
though.
Guess what? I'm opening it up in the lobby.
Classless.
I'm mad excited.
Classless.
Then I guess we're both classless.
Yeah, so, and then basically they hang out and have a fucking drama-free weekend, banging drums and, having a great
They do a
fucking
drum
time.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah, just sharing stuff they didn't know about each other, and, like, It's fucking...
So they have their own spa day, and then Ramona invites her friends, Sonia and Alex, to have their own spa surgery. Day.
No,
yeah. Well, it was plastic surgery and spa. What's her face? Alex got a facial.
Yeah, they fucking shaved her. Yeah, then Sonia got some laser tightening on her tummy from some loose skin shit. The doctor was like, yeah, if you work out a little bit, it'll tighten on its own. And she's still like, yeah, I didn't have time.
I hope you understand that that's a glimpse into your future.
Oh, sweet. I hope you have the money to afford it. Yeah, it's funny that Sony's paying for all that shit, but apparently we find out her house is a wreck. So then we go back to the ranch. They're at dinner, and basically they're all talking shit about the other ladies.
Yeah, well, Luann spills tea on Ramona that she's going through the changes. That was a big deal. But Kelly also talks about how relieved she is for just being honest about what's going on in her life and, you know, talking about her baggage with everybody. She just feels relieved and way better.
Yeah. And then they go around and they write down some words about each other and fold them up and put them into the middle. And they were supposed to write about other people, and Kelly wrote them about herself. Kelly, everybody's like, Kelly loyal. Who wrote that? Kelly was like, I did. I'm loyal.
I'm a loyal person.
Then we're back in New York, and Jill is running. It's funny because usually we see a whole lot of lead up to these events.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of these things have been sprung on us right now.
Like
the fucking trip Cindy planned, and like this event for anti-bullying that Jill threw.
Yes, okay.
You know what I mean? Like they just these things just showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Instead of like a whole bunch of prep work. But basically it's right before this event, and Alex is helping her make gift bags. And, Ramona's coming, and Jill is pretty nervous about it.
Yeah, she is.
Basically, Jill says it's funny, like, because it's a charity for anti-bullying, it's $200 a plate. And Jill was basically like, I hate Ramona, but $200 is $200.
Yep.
And then Ramona shows up. This is fucking hilarious. So apparently, Jill had asked Ramona, like, as they were setting up for this event, if you could bring, like, a case of wine to auction off.
Yeah.
Ramona took that as bring a case of wine and drink it here.
Yeah.
So she brings this thing, sets it up at the blind auction spot, and then they just keep going back to that area
open up these bottles.
I keep pouring them as like people are walking around the table. Because when they got there, they were like, "Yo, just put it here. This is where we want your wine." And they're like, "All right, cool." And then, so they're just opening it there, popping corks and fucking bottles and pouring. And every other table in that room has, like, shit to the blind auction. It's embarrassing. It's so crazy. And they start pointing out how Ramona's drunk in the middle of the day all the time now.
Yes!
Everything is going wrong for Ramona in this. And like I said before, Luann senses the cracks in the foundation, and it's a stepping stone for her to become top dog in this group. And I think that's my assessment.
We also meet Dorinda.
We don't meet her.
We don't meet her, but we see her.
I would just like to point out, too, that Dorinda, the first time we seen her back is to the camera, and I was like, hey, I think that's Dorinda. I was slightly embarrassed at how well I could pick out a housewife from behind.
You know.
But yeah, so...
There's also beef, I guess, at this event. Luann was wearing a designer that Ramona normally wears, I think, and Ramona was kind of insulted by that.
From what it sounded to me like, Luann used to get dressed by a specific designer.
Right.
She doesn't get dressed by that specific designer anymore for an unexplained reason. And she's been hoarding in on Ramona's designer, and Ramona doesn't appreciate it.
She's tight. Ramona's tight.
And she was like, just because you can't afford your fucking designer no more because the count left you or whatever. Like, she starts talking real shit. Like, just because you can't afford that shit no more doesn't mean you got to hoard it on my designer, bitch.
Luann comes back, right?
Yep.
Luann certainly comes back with her own big bag of bullshit and says,
Yep.
None of the girls want to go on this trip.
Yes.
Because of you.
Yeah, like, to be honest, like, this is where I wrote the note where I think Luann senses weakness in Ramona, and she's coming for the crown. And to be honest, I think Ramona's right in this instance because she's like, yo, you're picking a fight with me and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And Alex notices it too, and that's where, she calls her a thug in a cocktail dress.
Thug
and that
in a
was
cocktail
some
dress.
gangster shit right
yes.
there.
Well, I mean, in Luann's defense, she just wants everyone to get along. So she wants to point out to Ramona, yo, you're a bitch. Nobody wants to go on this trip because of you. Keep your shit together. But Ramona thinks Luann is being a real bi.
Yep, and it might be something to do with all the Pinot. I mean, I have no idea. Because
so great.
They're like, there's this fashion show, and then they're just basically like, yo, Ramona's the only one with a glass. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
But $200 is $200.
Well, though Luann is kind of frustrated because she feels like... So when Ramona shows up to this party, Jill was, hey, Ramona, so good to see you, ba-ba-ba. They give kisses, and Luann is like, yo, she thinks that Jill is scared of Ramona, and she wants her to tell her how she really feels, but she doesn't.
Well, also, like, when they showed up, like, if you remember, like, when Ramona and Jill were, like, hugging and kissing, Luann was like, hey, good thing you guys worked out your problems. And Jill was like, almost. And that's when I think what was really behind a lot of this shit was that she knew that Ramona hasn't really reached out to Jill the way she said she would.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which in turn is putting the Morocco trip in jeopardy. And that's going to be Luann's big thing is the Morocco trip. She's the champion of that. If it doesn't go well, it's on her.
But she does learn, they both learn that Kelly is definitely coming on the trip. Fuck Ramona.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
I'm not letting Ramona sing and dictate where I go in the world. I'm my own person. I'm eat jelly beans and shit. So yeah, and that's
pretty much it for that. Jill gives a speech on bullying, which is kind of funny.
And then Jill's stepdaughter, who we never met before, she also gives a speech about how she was bullied, her life, and it's tough.
She has a very prominent birthmark and a tumor in her
lip.
Yes, her lip, her jaw.
And so she had a tough time in school because kids are fucking assholes, and it's very touching, and everybody is giving her a nice round of applause and championing her, and at the end of that, Ramona goes up to Jill. She's like, "What a great speech! She was so self-confident, you didn't even notice her face was deformed." And Jill is just like, do you have any tact whatsoever? Like, can you say anything like in the right way at all?
Right.
And I'm sitting there thinking the same thing. So that's pretty much the end of the episode, though. So I don't usually like to do winners and losers in the cast, but I feel like it was clear in this episode that I think Kelly's winning these episodes. She's coming through being super heartfelt and relatable.
So Mike, do you like Kelly?
I do like Kelly. And
why do you like Kelly?
Well, she's also at the drum thing. She was being fucking silly with the drums when she wrote her own. I don't know what it is. I think now that she's not beefing with Bethany, who I had a very soft spot for. And she's just being goofy, like she's not being a lunatic and saying the complete opposite of a thing that actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, she's not retelling an event completely wrong. I think that she's definitely stepping her game up, and she's more endearing at this point. And the loser, this is Ramona.
Yeah.
Ramona is fucking getting beat up in these, despite the slight win at the end where I thought Luann went a little too hard at her. It still was warranted because she didn't do the shit she said she was going to do. So, it's been a tough road for Ramona, and she's definitely fallen down the ranks. As you will see when we're done recapping the next episode. That's for sure. Next episode, do you want to do winners and losers, or are you too busy with your nails still? How dare you? See, now you know exactly how I feel. Very dare you. I'm listening. Now you know exactly how I feel. I'm participating. When you point out a thing You know, I know you're
but
participating.
I'm listening and participating. I'm not like
I was doing
looking at what's going on with this stupid fucking game.
Yeah, you're looking at what's going on with your nails.
Yeah, I am.
So, did you have winners and losers for that episode?
My winner for this episode would probably have to be Luann with her shade. I feel like she was spot on with everyone, including Ramona. And I feel like the loser would have to be Ramona.
Yeah, she's having a rough
start.
job.
I mean, from like the jump, yo, like she just like going on this trip. She immediately says no. It's a third world country. Bless her.
And then when oh man, we'll talk about it in a minute. But she just embarrasses herself.
She's really embarrassing. Yeah, she's really embarrassing how she carries herself, especially also like going on these trips. Like we'll talk about it in the next episode. Mom. I like you say that Ramona's like your mom. She is to a certain extent, but she's not as bad. Like I don't see her.
My mom wouldn't ask somebody to help her unpack, but my mom would also be like, I asked for a specific drink and they don't have it, and they said they would. And
right,
I'll deal with something else, but I'll complain about not having what I wanted the whole time.
Okay.
And like driving. Right. And also, like, in the cab, when they're when, like, Sonia and, like, Ramona and Alex are driving.
You're right.
And they're like, yo, I feel like somebody will jump out of the desert. Well, there's a guy now. You know?
Yeah, right, to, like, steal their shit. Okay.
Yeah, and, like, but she would say it out loud, and she would be half joking. But, like, the people there would take offense, rightfully so, because they're joking about their culture that she has no fucking knowledge of.
And there you are correct, my birds.
Yeah, see? I do what I can.
So moving on to the actual trip.
Yes. So, of course, Team Blonde and Team Brunette are flying separately.
Yeah.
Which is probably good for everybody because at least in, you know, a hotel room or whatever, you can go to a different hotel room, but on a plane, you can't go to a different plane for fucking 14 hours. So it's probably good that they kept those flights separate. I am shocked that Alex is kind of in their team because
when you say their team, be
Ramona
specific.
And Sonia.
Okay.
Because I feel like even though Alex is more cultured than they are.
Whoa!
Or no, like wants to appear
more
such.
cultured. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But
no, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. I feel...
And I think that starts to show in Morocco, too.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, regardless of teams, I think Alex is mortified by Sonia and Ramona's behavior throughout the trip.
Yeah, I agree. And so, basically, we have, like, they fly there, they get into a cab, and it's Jill, Kelly, Cindy, and Luann. And... you know, of course, they're talking shit about each other as they do it. And, you know, they get there, get in a cab. Kelly's like, oh, I want to ride these fucking mopeds all over the place. She's like, I want to ride these little motorcycles. And they're all like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Right, yeah.
But the hotel's beautiful. And
yeah, well, the house that they're staying at is beautiful. They're mad hyped over how beautiful everything is. They're excited about the trip. And then
the other team flies.
Are not as hyped. Ramona and Sonia are immediately talking shit.
Yep.
Alex is totally embarrassed by everything that they're doing.
Yeah, they land and they're talking shit about how, like, they're, like, joking, like, oh, maybe this is the hotel we stay at. Yeah, like, and the cab driver's there and you're like, you really know he lives in this neighborhood.
It's really bad. It's really
Alex
bad.
Is just like, oh, it's what an embarrassment these people are.
And Ramona has essentially a rider. We'll talk about what just happened right now, Mike.
Josh Allen just ran for a touchdown. So anyway, Ramona has a rider. So
what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you?
That means I get more fantasy points.
How many points do you get?
6.
I don't know what that means, but good for you.
That's a number.
I know that that's a number.
And it's even better than a passing touchdown because a rushing touchdown is worth more. And anyway, so yeah, Ramona's basically like, yo, when I get there, I need 600 thread count sheets, a crate of Pinot Grigio with my face on the bottles, and somebody to help me unpack, and a red carpet. So yeah, it's definitely an aggressive wish list.
It's aggressive, but quite honestly, it's Ramona.
What
do you expect?
It's funny because she's going through Luann for it, and Luann is just telling everybody else, and they're shitting all over Ramona. Like, what do you mean you have to have somebody help you unpack? It's so like. I wouldn't even want anybody to help me unpack. Like, I don't want anybody going through my shit like that. Like, what is... Like, I don't want anybody putting my underwear in a drawer. Like, I hang up what I need to hang up, and I live out of my suitcase for the rest of my shit.
Though, and I'm not defending Ramona because I agree with you, but...
She's Ramona and I'm poor. Yes. I understand. When I go, I bring a duffel bag and it's full of Hanes underwear. Yes, I get you. I understand she's got a lot more fancy shit. But that being said, I trust a hotel person with my Hanes underwear more than I would with her fancy shit, which is more of a reason to not... Oh, and Sonia doesn't trust the guy watching the car. She keeps walking back out there like, did anybody steal the luggage yet? Did anybody steal the luggage yet? You're watching this car, right? Because I've had my luggage stolen 3 times while I'm traveling the world.
And Ramona saying, like, you know, when they all show up and, like, Luann is waiting there to welcome her into this beautiful home that they're staying at. And Ramona keeps saying that everybody's dressed in native dress. And like these fucking caftans, which is like...
It's elegant.
Alright, it's native, quote unquote, but bitch. Have you been to fucking Palm Springs?
It looks
all the gays are like wearing these beautiful caftans. Sorry, that was very, what's the word?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's not derogatory, but I'm being
presumptuous.
Yeah, thank you.
But they look very comfortable. I fucking wear one of those things. I wear one of those rocking around the house.
I will buy you a caftan in a second, honey.
Yo, the most comfortable thing I've ever owned in my entire life was when I was in the Navy. We used to wear these coveralls. It was like a jumpsuit, and it would just zipper in the middle. And after you washed it like 50 fucking times, it felt like you were wearing air. And it was cotton, and it was the most... I would, like, sleep in it. I would have a pair that I just slept in.
Navy caftans is what you're
Pretty much, yeah. Just big, loose coveralls. Like, I had a pair of boots that I tied, and they had a zipper on the side, so all I had to do was zipper my boots off. Throw this giant cloud of a blue coverall on, and then my little stupid boat hat. Beautiful. I loved every bit of it. In fact, I'm going to ask one of my Navy friends to get me another pair of those coveralls.
So if I got you a beautiful caftan, would you wear it? I'm being dead serious right now. I'm not trying to be facetious or like...
Like, I almost think of it it's almost like a one-piece thing, right? So it's like almost like footy pajamas without the feet.
It's a dress.
No, I'll wear anything comfortable. I'm getting bigger in my old age. It's like sweatpants, except for,
But you're not wearing pants.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I don't need pants. I'll wear it around the house.
Okay, you heard it here first.
I'm not wearing that. I'm just kidding.
You heard it here first.
I'm obviously not wearing a caftan.
Mike said that he would wear a caftan.
I said, shit!
Yes, you did! You said you would wear a caftan!
Holy shit, where are we? I don't even know.
How far are we in the episode?
I think we were just rambling through, yeah.
So the girls are unpacking. Luann is being mad shady about Ramona and her unpacking bullshit and just like being mad shady about how she's treating the staff, the people that are taking care of them, and Sonia and Ramona are clearly
just being ridiculous.
As wonderful as they are, they're so clueless when it comes to like calling people to help, right?
Yeah.
Which is like,
yeah.
Come on, girls. Mike is losing his fucking mind right now and not paying attention.
No, it was because you were talking. You told about them
throwing his hands in the air. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're watching this game. You're not engaged in this conversation.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And I want everybody that's listening to us to understand what's going on. Maybe Ryan's upset.
So, in addition to the them calling them to help and doing all that stuff, just acting derogatorily. I really like the editing because there was a back and forth thing where Sonia and Ramona were like showing their dresses and like, oh, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear this, and then like Luann and the other ladies like being like, you can't dress sexy here, like, and they're like dancing around like, oh, look at me in this thing,
yeah,
and then they're like, you have to realize the culture. It's very conservative in Morocco.
When you were in the Navy, have you ever been in a country like that where it was like that?
Not me. The only other, like, I mean, I've been to like Puerto Rico. We went up and down the East Coast when I was. So when we were on our way to go across into like the Middle East, that was when I would have stopped at a shitload of countries, but that was when we crashed after leaving the first country we went to, which was Italy. So we crashed the submarine.
So you never experienced anything like that, where like women.
I probably would have went to like the I probably would have stopped at like the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and probably like places like that over there. Like we went to La Maddalena, which was in Italy. Mm-hmm. But like usually UAE is like the big place that you stop over there, and that's
right. You know, but what I'm saying is
Muslim,
you've never been
very conservative and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you remember women dressing conservatively and like being like?
That's a place I would have went, but I didn't go. Okay. But the people who I were friends with on the boat who went on the previous deployment and stopped there said it was a very strange place. Because you're not even allowed to like drink booze there, like because they have all those very strict rules like that. But yes, but in Italy, right before, we went to the other country and we embarrassed ourselves by jumping in off the piers when we were drinking, and it was just stupid. But yeah, so let's see. Oh, and so while they're doing that back and forth, after that, Cindy basically leaves and she goes into a room and she realizes hangers are missing. And and it becomes a big, like, hanger situation.
Yes, hanger gate.
Because she goes to Ramona and Sonia where they're dressed, dancing around like a bunch of idiots, and they're like, yo, did you guys take my fucking hangers? And they're basically like, we didn't take your fucking hangers. I don't even know where your room is. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, she's mad tight over that. She's mad tight.
I'll be honest, I bet what it was Luann told them that this one lady was insane and needed a shitload of hangers, and the workers went around and were like, hey, any unused hangers, let's just throw them in this lady's room. And so that's probably what happened.
That's probably true.
And Cindy was just like, you went in my room, in my personal space, and took my shit. So I feel like that's an unnecessary beef that's going to come up in this trip.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see. So yeah, all the ladies are about to go shopping, and Alex is like, yo, I'm kind of jet lagged, I'm going to take a nap. And then Ramona and Sonia are bouncing around like two fucking high school girls. And Luann's like, oh, so you got to go shopping with us and have lunch? And they're like, no, we're going to take a drive.
We're going to do our own thing.
The motion of the car makes me sleepy, and I'm kind of tired, but I have energy. And they just make a whole like lot of excuses not to hang out with the entire bulk of the group. And we learn later that they just went to a different hotel and drank champagne all day. And hang out in the sun. It's like, how do you do that? Like,
they do it.
Let me ask you a question though. Like, so Luann planned this trip out, right? So this is like Luann's brainchild and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did Luann pay for them?
No, Bravo did.
All right.
Bravo did.
No, I'm just curious. Oh, that makes sense because Sonia wouldn't have been able to pay for herself.
From what I understand, and I could be making this up, when Bravo does the show, right, they require the women to like go on like a big vacation. And I think they pay for some of it, but not all of it.
Alright.
And the women,
like
meaning like Luann, so like Luann quote unquote is planning this trip, but like I don't think she's like paying for. I think she plans everything, but she's not paying for it.
I would imagine the flights and hotels are covered by Bravo, and anything the ladies do.
Right.
That's not required by Bravo. You know what I mean? Like they might have some sort of party requirements or whatever that they do on their own. That's probably who knows. What do we care? Just keep doing more extravagant.
Important. I think that's important to understand the mechanics of everything, right? Like, Luann well, first of all, it's quote unquote Luann's idea that they're going to Morocco anyway.
Yeah.
And when I say the women, I mean Sonia and Ramona. Like, it's a third world country.
So one of the funny things too was when they were having that interaction about taking the drive, like they were pissed Luann was even asking.
Yeah.
They were like, why are you even like? As if you planned this whole fucking trip or something.
Right.
Like, they're like, why are you breaking my balls? Like, I'm just trying to go to another place and check some shit out. Like, isn't that what we're here for? But yeah, so they leave, and then the rest of the ladies, the brunettes, that's what I'm just going to refer to them all as. Cindy, Luann, Kelly, and Jill. They're just eating and talking shit. And then they start getting into Sonia's finances a little.
Yeah, they do.
So, like,
yeah, they do.
Like I'm saying, like, this is really picking away. Like, this is really, like, brunette power. Like, fuck the blondes. Yeah. Like, this is... So, they're really knocking down
being mad shady. They're just being mad shady over Sonia. Because Sonia puts up a good front, right? She, like, is married to a Morgan. Yeah. And then, like,
Luann's trying to be super positive about it. And Kelly's just like... Yeah, the house hasn't been fucking redone or renovated since the 1900s. It's ridiculous. The place is a mess all the time. And there's dogs barking and shitting everywhere. And, yeah. So then they go out to...
this fabric shop.
Yes.
Jill is in her glory. And guess who shows up?
Brad.
We love Brad.
Oh, I miss Brad.
We love Brad.
Brad was very fun, but he apparently quit the job with Jill and it's just been
went out on his own, and he's
been traveling the world.
Has a house in Morocco.
Well, we learned later that he's just staying at bed and breakfast, pretending it's his place.
But he's got a quote unquote.
Jill's like, "Don't front on me. I asked for a tour of the house and I couldn't take a tour because people were sleeping. Yeah, in their hotel rooms. Yeah. Fucking lawyer, Brad. Yeah." So they're at the hotel, they're getting ready for the night, and basically, like, they get back from shopping, and they're like, all right, let's get ready, we're going to go do our thing, and Ramona and Sonia bombed. Like, and Luann is like, I can't believe this shit. Like, we're trying to have, like, this classy trip and be super cultured, and you guys are being embarrassing fucking wastes. Luann brings in this famous, like, the top designer in all of Morocco. Guy doesn't speak a fucking word of English, and he's there to fit them for the, what are they called? The caftans. And Ramona's giving this guy direction, like, no, I want mine to be sleek on the sides. I need streamlined.
I want my tits out.
I want my tits out. Yeah, I need a nice cleavage show. So I want you to take this measurement here from my chicken neck that I just got Botoxed all the way down to my cleavage.
Mike, the shade. I can't.
Sorry, I am just annoyed with Ramona at this point. And
I love her.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. So, but like Alex finally gets into the confessional, and she's like, "Yo, these people are acting like assholes."
I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah. And then at the end of it all, they're like, "Yeah, it's a little cold in here, Mr. Designer. Can you put a log on the fire?" And Alex is just like, I can't believe these fucking people have the gall to do this shit. Alex goes and gets the logs, and she comes back and she's like, you know, it takes longer to ask for something than to do it yourself.
Yes.
Alex is hilarious, and I think she's going over to Team Brunette. She's going to stop dyeing her hair.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We shall see. So anyway, then they get out and they're walking down the mean streets of Morocco looking for Brad's party, and they're like, "Yo, this is a little nervous," and it looks like they're almost walking in like I don't know, like Queens, like underneath one of the train stations.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you.
Under like the train tracks and stuff because it's dark. It almost looks like there's an overhang. Maybe it's just because it's dark out, but all the streets are lit up. People on the streets. It looks very lively. It's pretty cool.
And that's only because we are both from Queens.
Yeah.
We say that.
So they're all at Brad's party, and then so everybody's drinking and like just talking, and all of a sudden like Ramona and Sonia are talking to Cindy, and they're like, "What? You didn't like the fact that I told the story about how we were supposed to hang out downtown and you broke your teeth and you fucked everything up and the whole day was a mess because your teeth were broken and you had to get your teeth fixed and your
Jill
teeth were
was
fucked
not
up."
pleased. Not Jill. Cindy.
Well, Jill was pleased because she did the design she wanted on her teeth. But But yeah, Cindy was just like, I don't know why these people are talking about this. Cindy almost is. Cindy's not on the show next year, right?
No.
She might have left on her own accord.
I think that's what happened.
I can't deal with
quite
these
honestly.
people.
Like, I feel like Cindy was so wonderful because she was so honest about her life to a certain degree.
She was real reality. As insane as her life was.
Yeah.
At the one point, she's like, I'm just going to call the nanny so I can yell a song at the kids. And I think Kelly was, and then she was like, yeah, and then the kids look at the phone. And then I think Kelly was like, how do you know that? And she's just like, that's what they tell me.
So good.
But then they're dancing, a bunch of snakes come out, and Jill is wearing a snake crown. She's just running around with a snake on her head. She's like, what? It's funny, huh? And they're just like, you are insane. And it reminded me of, like, I used to have a pet snake. Did I ever tell you that?
So creepy. Yeah, you did. Of course you did. It's so creepy.
But I gave the snake away after he bit me.
Wait, so what happened when he bit you?
It was kind of my fault because I had just made lunch and I ate it.
You fucking...
I should have washed my hands before I took the snake out to play with it. But I didn't. So he still smelled, I think, like sandwich and shit on my hands. And he like coiled around my wrist, and I was like, oh, that's kind of what he looks like when he goes to eat a thing. And then he like just like snapped his head back and boom, just bit my thumb.
Were you crying?
No, I freaked out, and I just like took my arm. It was my right arm, and I held it straight out, and I swung it across my chest that way, and then I fucking whipped it back across, and I threw the snake against the wall. And then I grabbed him, and I put him back in his cage, and I went back to the pet store.
How old were you when you had that pet snake?
Like 24, 23.
You would be.
Yeah. So then we get to the psychic, and this is kind of this is some wild shit right here.
Girl.
This is some real wild shit right here because she was kind of spot on. And I'm sorry if you can hear the dog barking in the background.
Here's the thing about Mike saying that the psychic is spot on. I go to see a medium once a year with my cousin Lisa. Shout out to Lisa Spahala Moriello. And I say how spot on this woman is. And now we have Michael Burns talking about this psychic from Morocco who is reading all of these women like a goddamn scripture and being very accurate about all of them. And Mike Burns is saying, wow, she's accurate. Well, he is a true blue naysayer.
I am.
I'm going to leave it at that. He's a naysayer, and he's saying that he fucking believes this woman. Okay.
I don't. I mean, I think it's cool that she called them all out.
No, you just said you believed it.
No,
you can't say you don't and then say you believe it.
No, I said she called them all out correctly, but maybe she got some inside information. Maybe Luann whispered some shit to her. You never know.
No, Mike.
I'm just saying.
No.
Basically, Jill sits down, and the psychic is like, you have a big heart, but you need to shut the fuck up.
You have a big heart, but you have a big mouth.
So you sits down, and she's like, money isn't everything, and I know you're broke. Kelly sits down, and she's like, I see another baby in your future. And Kelly's like, awesome, I want one. And then Ramona sits down.
Yikes.
And she says some shit in French, and Kelly is like, I'm out. And everybody's like, what'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? And then Luann's like, said there's another woman.
Yikes.
With Mario.
She didn't say Mario. She just said there's another woman.
But then she said, but like, not like a friend, like with your husband.
Right, yeah.
So...
that's where they leave it.
Womp, womp, womp. To be continued.
Yeah.
And this is to be continued, too.
Well, let me ask you real quick.
Yes.
Before we cut out. What do you like better, New York or Salt Lake City?
See, it's tough. Because... like, I know And I'm not saying that this season is bad by any means, because it's definitely a lot of shit. Like, this is interesting shit. I just think Salt Lake City's a little newer, and it's a different pace, and it's more current. So I think I relate to it a little. Like, these are 10-year-old episodes still. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I know that it's not, they're still getting their footing. It's not like the meat and potatoes of it, okay. You know? Like, you keep talking, like, we spotted Dorinda for the first, like, I feel like the way you talk about it, like, when Dorinda gets there is some equal competition for fucking,
when Dorinda
head of the household type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yo, when Dorinda shows up.
From the things we've watched with her in it, because, you definitely made me watch a couple of more recent episodes, and, thank you for that, of course. Dorinda definitely can hold her own with all those other people and talk a ton of shit. And I enjoyed Dorinda from the things that I've seen.
She's starting.
So I'm looking forward to that. But so right now I got Salt Lake City. I think is probably, like I said.
Well, because it's new. I feel like. Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like because we're in with the ground floor. Like I feel like these aren't even the same ladies that are in it right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. So fair enough.
It's hard for me to be like, this is the shit. But anyway, so winners and losers for this episode. Man, I think again, I don't like to pick the ladies. I like to pick like weird shit. But I think Luann is winning this episode because
I agree with you. Why?
Her trip is getting pulled off, and also she's being able to elevate herself above the other threats to her superiority to the group because they're acting like complete fucking fools. And,
I agree.
Yeah, so I think Luann is definitely killing it. And I think the loser, second episode in a row, Ramona, you don't find out your husband's cheating on you and not be the loser of the episode. Close second is Brad for getting caught in his lie about living in the bed and breakfast. So what do you got, winners and losers style?
No, I agree. My winner and loser is pretty much the same. It's Luann for planning this trip. She is a winner in that sense.
Luann
loser is Ramona for just being a fucking entitled fucker.
Okay.
Our dogs are going nuts.
Yeah, and so just because the dogs are going nuts, we'll just wrap it up real quick. Power rankings. I think Luann took the top spot. I got Luann at number 1. Kelly's number 2.
Wow!
Kelly's just fun now. Kelly's fun now that she's not being an asshole and recalling events completely incorrectly. And then Jill is 3rd. Cindy is 4th. Then I got Sonia. Ramona's at the bottom. Ramona's a fucking hot mess right now, and she's just getting beat up from every angle. Yeah. And it's almost hard to watch get her just spiral right now. And then she just thinks because she's lifting her fucking weights in the morning and toning that everything's cool. She's like, no, everything's going well. And then at the end is Alex because she's just, Alex.
We hate Alex.
Yeah, nobody likes Alex. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll be back hopefully next week. It is the holidays, so shit is crazy. But I am off.
Who knows?
Who knows? We can pump some shit out. But yeah. So this is Mike and Mare, right?
Wrong. What do you want me to say? Yeah. You're wrong. It's not Mike and Mare.
Sorry.
It's somebody else.
But yeah, so you're listening to I Don't Want to Watch That. You can find it pretty much anywhere that podcasts are. And if somehow you stumbled across it or you're in your friend's car and they're making you listen to this for some godforsaken reason and you have a different podcast platform, let us know and we'll make sure it's there too. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Don't Want to Watch.
And that's it.
If we don't talk to you beforehand, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that crazy shit, Happy New Year, every holiday out there. Thank you. It has been a wild ride this year, and we appreciate every fucking download and
every fucking download.
Yeah. But yeah, hit us up if you have any questions or if you want us to give us any opinions on any weird Housewives takes you might have, because we just love talking shit about this.
And by we, Mike means me.
And I'll enjoy it though. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.
No, by me, I mean you. You
understand? Oh, I thought you meant you.
No. Oh, I mean, okay. I do. I mean, there's no fucking question.
You were like, by me, he means me.
How dare you. All right, goodbye. Goodbye.
Later.